Surprise! Welcome to a little secret, not so secret, minisode.
First ever minisode.
No one else will probably still ramble on, but keeping it a minisode.
Yeah.
On journaling, you are joined by an expert. I'm going to say expert. I'm giving you the title of expert.
I feel like that's a little bit inaccurate.
But you've been journaling for a while.
I've been journaling for many a year, but I don't have a PhD in it.
But you're still an expert in my books. Okay, we're joined by the expert journaler here, Ro, and we're joined by the newbie journaler, myself, JC.
Are we journalers or journalists?
No, journalists would be for the newspapers.
Okay.
Unless you're just writing the news in your journal. I mean,
Practicing for journalism.
Go for it. But yeah, I've been journaling for 20-something days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I started,
it's been a while.
Yeah, at the new year. Well, that's not been long at all.
No, but there's been many more days
than
I thought. Okay, this is not going to be a mini-sode if I keep yapping.
But no, we have different experiences, I think, with journaling. And we'd love to share them with you. We'd love to get you on your journaling journeys. I'm a convert. I'm a journal convert. That sounds like convict.
I'm a convict.
I've been converted to journaling, and we want to convert you as well. I mean, if it works for you. It might not work for everyone, but I think you need to give it a try.
Yeah.
And just see.
If anything, just give it a try.
Shall we jump into the benefits of journaling first?
Yes.
What would you say the benefits of journaling are?
For me, journaling has always been a way to get things off my mind, but also to understand what I'm feeling in that moment. When you are able to journal without judgment, you can understand yourself a lot more because you can put things down on a page and work things out and figure things out for yourself without it all just flying around your brain 24/7. So I'd say it makes me a lot calmer.
I like that. I definitely have felt that since I started journaling, but that's also the one thing that held me back from starting because I was so scared that I would unravel all of these things about myself and have to confront emotions if I was trying to write about them, because I don't think about things that deeply on a day-to-day basis. So if I was journaling every night and trying to get all these feelings onto a page, I would be over-analysing everything and get myself even more stressed than before. But that has not happened.
I think the lovely thing about journaling is that it doesn't have to be an over-analysing kind of thing. I journal because I have a lot of stuff going on in my brain and a lot of it is negative and a lot of it is difficult, and journaling helps me to work through that. But I also journal about my hopes for the future, about things I want to achieve, about ideas I have, like positive things, gratitude journaling, as we said a couple episodes ago, it literally helps to lower your cortisol, the stress hormone in your body. There is scientific evidence that journaling is super beneficial for mental health, even if you're not someone who necessarily struggles with their mental health.
Yeah, I think that's what held me back as well, because I do struggle, but on a day-to-day basis I'm generally fine. So I feel like it would leave me searching for emotions that aren't there even necessarily, just have something to write. But you have opened my eyes into the fact that you don't have to just write about negative things to get them off your chest. You can write about positive things. You can gratitude journal. You can write letters to yourself, to your future self from your past self. There's so many different things you can do. But to sum up the main benefit for me as a newbie, I think my brain has a lot of things going through it. Not thoughts and feelings, but more just things that I need to do, or random ideas that come into my head, or just random stuff. So to get that on a page and not be thinking,
I need to remember this.
Yeah, has just been really nice. And that has also resulted in me not writing pages and pages and pages and putting loads of pressure on myself to do it every day. It's just as and when.
Yeah. And on that note, I would like to say some things that I need you to remember going into journaling, going into the journaling journey, or if you're starting to journal, or if you've journaled for a while, maybe you feel like it doesn't really help you that much, you're not really getting that much out of it. Here are some key things that, as someone who has been through a journey with journaling, that I want to remind you. Number 1, you do not have to write every single day, nor do you have to write pages and pages and pages. You are allowed to take 5 years to fill out like a normal sized journal. Journaling is for you. It is not to prove anything to anyone else.
I think that's the point that changed everything for me, because when I thought about journaling, even though I really wanted to try it and I'd seen everyone else love it, I had this idea that either I would read it back or someone else would read it, and it had to look perfect, and it had to, I don't know, make sense, and it had to be a certain way, but it doesn't. Like, it's literally just for me.
Yeah.
I don't even have to read it back again.
No.
And it doesn't have to look pretty, and it doesn't have to have a perfect handwriting and no spelling mistakes. It just doesn't matter.
No, there's no rules. You could literally scribble all over one of the pages. Or
this.
You know, if you want to write stuff down in it that you feel a bit anxious that someone could one day in the future read, just burn it.
Yeah.
Just rip it out. Just bin it. There are literally no rules. Journaling is there to help you get stuff off your mind, process things. If you want to use it like a diary and write what you did in your day, you're allowed to do that, but it doesn't have to be like that. So, number one, yeah, there are no rules. Number two is kind of similar to what you just said. Write for yourself. Write as if no one is going to read it. I know there is always the fear of someone finding your journal and reading it. At the end of the day, that reflects way worse on that person than it does on you. If somebody has gone into your personal possessions and is reading your journal, that is their problem. If there are things in there that you write that you would be terrified for people to find out, or you just don't want anyone to find out, you can always rip those pages out of your journal. Or you could keep a digital journal, maybe use like a Notion page or your notes app, so that you know that no one's gonna find it or look at it because it's a journal. But honestly, if you tell people that you don't want them to read your journal, you're like, it will just be really disrespectful to me if you read my journal. Not like it's full of secrets, don't read it, but just I will feel really hurt and disrespected if I find out that you've read my journal. People aren't going to read it because they don't want to be weird.
Yeah, it's a very vulnerable place for you to be. Your journal is you at your most vulnerable. So when I was a kid, I had that invisible ink. And
I forgot about that.
What was it called? It was like a girl's something. It was like a purple thing, and you had to say a word to open it.
Oh, I don't think I ever had one of those, but I do remember.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find a picture of it or something. But yeah, I mean, you could still get a lock and key.
Bring back those pink fluffy journals with lock and key.
Yeah.
And my final thing that I would say is that you don't have to have a separate journal for all the separate things you want to journal about. We're about to go into journaling techniques, all the different ways you can go about journaling, but you do not need a specific journal to put your to-do list in as opposed to writing your thoughts down. I just put it all in one because it encourages me to journal way more. A, it's like also less expensive, and B, it just, all of them kind of mishmash together.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be like, this is my stream of consciousness journal, this is my letters to myself journal. It can all just be in one big journal.
I think that's just something that held me back as well. It's just the idea of everything having to be perfect and having to have its place. Maybe scared that things will get lost as well. But they won't, because they're literally physically there always, and you'll always be able to find them. They're not going to be lost in the back of your head or lost in a random note on your phone. They're there.
Yeah.
If you need them to come back to.
So, journaling techniques?
Ooh, yes, please. Tell me more. Although, I feel like I've already had this, like, pep talk from you before.
I did kind of give you one in real life.
But I would like to know. I'd like to see if I use the ones that you've taught me or if I use different ones. Well, I know what ones I use. I wouldn't like to see, but I'd like to tell you.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I'd also like to know, so that was great. The first one, and this is the one that I would say has really helped me. It helped me a lot when I didn't really know how to start journaling. I was in a place with journaling for a little while where I felt like I didn't really know why I was journaling, and I felt a little bit like scared that someone was going to pick it up and read it. And there was just, I went through a phase of being like, this is embarrassing. So I found out about stream of consciousness journaling. Honestly, the best thing ever. The idea of stream of consciousness journaling is literally what it sounds like. It is getting your stream of consciousness onto a page. Every single thought that comes into your head, as quickly as you can write it down. I do this sometimes, and it will be like, today was a good day because I saw my friend. Broccoli, eggs. And it will just be like these random thoughts that pop into my head, and there's no punctuation. I'm not making it look pretty or worrying about anything or thinking about my grammar or my sentence structure. It's literally just
Words on a page.
Words that are in my brain. And the stuff that comes out, because you start to let go and just let things come out, it can be really interesting.
Thinking about it, I haven't done that. Because I feel like I've not given myself the full permission to fully let go and fully just set myself free. So maybe that's something I need to work on. But then that's the thing, you can build yourself up to it. There's no right or wrong way of journaling. Yeah.
It starts feeling less awkward and less kind of embarrassing the more you get used to it.
Yeah, maybe I'm not at that level just yet.
That's okay, we'll get you there.
Yeah, it won't be long. It won't be long. Another journaling technique that you have taught me, but I feel like it's also quite common. But I haven't delved into it. I know you can do like Skillshare courses and YouTube videos and all of this stuff, but I've never taken the steps to delve into it myself. So the first place I have heard it from properly is you. Gratitude journaling, you mentioned it before, just writing down everything that you're grateful for in your life and everything that makes you happy just puts me in such a good mindset. It's things that you don't even think about as well, or things that you wouldn't expect to write down, like coffee. I say coffee a lot. Maybe I'm addicted. Coffee, lighting a candle, having a bath. Like,
well, I didn't know you like baths. You've literally never mentioned that.
But just like the tiniest things.
Yeah.
It's just really wholesome.
Yeah, and it literally, it doesn't have to be a process of being like, I'm really grateful to have a roof over my head, because some people don't. Like, it doesn't need to be something that comes with guilt.
Yeah.
Gratitude journaling is literally like, I'm sat in my bedroom right now and I like my bedroom. My bedroom has cozy vibes.
Yeah.
Or I really like this jumper that I'm wearing right now and I'm grateful that I have this jumper.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be kind of like,
Big
I'm really
things.
lucky to have this, other people don't. Because I think, although it's, you know, we do need to think like that sometimes, because you need to acknowledge your privilege, but your journal's not the place for that. This
Yeah.
journal is for you. And so I think sometimes gratitude journaling can feel a bit like, oh, I'm going to just sit there and go, I'm really lucky that I have food and water. And, you know, it's to help you notice all of the small joys in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. I feel like you would be better at telling more techniques because, like I said, as a newbie, I'm just jotting down random things. Maybe that's a technique in itself.
That is kind of the vibe that my journal is right now, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I have a to-do list page. I know we've mentioned that as well.
Do you have a to-do list page, or like do you do it each day? What's the vibe?
Yeah, no, it is random.
Yeah, so
not like one page, because I don't think it would all fit for like the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But no, I'll just put the date and then just say this. And to be honest, I don't even look back at it. It's just to get it off my head, so I'm not waking up every hour like, you need to do this next, you need to do this next. It's there if I need to refer to it. If I don't, great. At least I can approach every task with a clear mind. So yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is about getting rid of the anxiety of what if I forget to do something, because you know you've written it down.
Yeah.
If you think I've forgotten to do something, you can just go look. And that's quite anxiety easing, I would say. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
other journal techniques. As I've said, my journal is a bit of a mishmash at the moment, but I am absolutely loving that. It has really encouraged me to journal more. It's allowed me to journal more positively. I still do stream of consciousness journaling in it.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I do is I have a Pinterest board of journal prompts. Weirdly, Pinterest is great for journal prompts. Like, people will just post pictures of journal prompts, like journal prompts when you're sad, journal prompts for your birthday, journal prompts for the new year.
You've invited me to this board.
Yeah. Did you join it?
I think I have joined it, but I haven't used it yet. Exposed.
Whoa.
Rude. That'll be my next step. I'm easing myself in still.
I mean,
taking it slow.
It doesn't have to be intimidating. You can do the ones that are like, what made you smile today?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not, you know, some of the ones that I've got on there are like, what thing about yourself are you ignoring, and stuff like that, which is deep. But if you ever are in the mood to wind down before bed and you want to just kind of do something that connects you with yourself, using those journal prompts can be really helpful. So I would recommend, either, if you're not a Pinterest person, you can Google journal prompts.
Yeah.
You will be able to find some. We're going to give you some at the end of this episode before we finish. And yeah, just making a board on Pinterest or finding journal prompts that align with you, are kind of talking to you where you're at right now, and answering those. The way my journal is laid out is literally, I'll write the date, I'll write the question that I'm answering, or I'll put the title for what I'm doing. So if I'm doing stream of consciousness, I'll literally put stream of consciousness, or I'll put, most days I honestly just put what's on my mind, question mark.
Just to, like, set the scene for your brain.
Yeah.
Nice.
I find it a bit more directional, and sometimes that makes it easier to write and get stuff down, because I don't put any judgment on myself. I'm just doing this one thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely recommend a Pinterest board, or Googling journal prompts, or using the ones that we'll give you at the end.
Journal prompts are really helpful because it can make you question things that you wouldn't have thought about otherwise. I wouldn't be able to think of like 101 different questions to ask myself every day for the next few years.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get snippets from other people's brains and learn more about yourself as you go.
Yeah.
I have got one more, which I really, really want to start doing, and it's setting yourself worry time or a worry page. Worry? What? That's a hard word to say, like over and over.
Yeah.
Worry. Setting yourself a place to put your worries in your journal. So the whole idea is that you give yourself 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day to get out everything that you're worried about, so you can forget about it for the rest of your day. Say I'm really worried about this presentation that I have to do at school next week. Write it on that page, give yourself 10, 20 minutes to worry about it. Now you can move on because you've evaluated that worry, you've addressed it, you've realised it doesn't affect my life right in this second, it's going to happen in the future, I can come back to it in the future, but you've still allowed yourself to process it at the same time, rather than saying, I'm not allowed to think about it.
Trying to push it out of your head
Yeah,
makes it worse.
pushing it out of your head and putting it on the page.
Yeah.
So it still has a place to exist, just not in
Trying
your
to
head.
push it down, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of worry time, and I think I do that sometimes, but less intentionally. I should probably be more intentional with it, or not should, but I might try to be more intentional with it. I do this thing, which I think I've mentioned before, but I'm quite an anxious person. I have a lot of worries all of the time. So I'll write down what is worrying me right now, question mark. Then I put a bullet pointed list of every worried thought that's in my mind, everything that's worrying me. And then I put which of these worries are in my control. And then I put a star next to the ones that are in my control. And then I realise, oh, I'm worrying about so much that I can't even do anything about. So, like, I don't need to be worrying about this.
Love that. I'm trying to think if I've got any more. There's probably a lot more that you can find if you Google, but they're the ones that we use the most.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shall we move into equipment? Equipment sounds
Yes.
like such a big word because you don't need
Equipment.
big things to journal.
A journal and a pen.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. A
But-
journal and a pen.
But finding your favourite pen to write with.
Oh, yeah. I was such a pen girly growing up. I loved having different pens. I collected Parker pens for a good segment of my life.
Wow. Aren't they
Yeah.
really expensive?
I'd get them at like boot fairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's adorable.
Yeah. So, loved me a Parker pen.
That's so cool. What's your favourite pen to write with now?
Don't put me on the spot. I'm using fine liners at the moment as like my main source of pen, which past me would have hated, but right now I like a fine liner.
I don't like a fine liner, too
No.
scratchy.
No, it has to be a soft one.
Oh, the one that we used when we did our bird and blend journaling session together,
They're soft.
they were really nice.
The Stabilo, is it Stabilo?
Stabilo?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Those ones are very solid and very small,
Mm.
so they do scratch. But you need to get yourself like a medium-sized fine liner.
Okay.
What pen do you use?
I went through a phase of loving the Muji 0.5 pens that they sell in the Muji stores.
Yeah.
But then I started finding it too scratchy all of a sudden. I don't know, something just changed in me. I was like, oh, not a fan. So I use the Zebra.
Ooh, yeah. Biro.
Yeah,
Pilot.
they're like clicky ones.
Nice.
We'll put a
Ballpoint.
picture on the screen. Yeah.
This pen.
And I absolutely love them. And obviously the mild liners.
Yeah, is that the fine liner ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
that, where are they from? Zebra. So I don't think they're Muji.
Highlighters, I'm loving.
Mm.
Because it helps you like pick things out from the page that you really want to be like, wow, that's a really good thing. Let me highlight that.
Yeah.
Literally.
But not in like an aggressive neon colour, which can sometimes be a bit like, ew.
Yeah. In like
I
a
don't
pretty
like it.
in a pretty pink or a pretty green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't recommend actually, like a gel pen.
Oh,
Because that's gonna smudge.
no smudging, please.
We don't want smudging. Yeah, there's one more type of pen. Sorry, pen
Yeah.
fanatic. A fountain pen. I would love to write with a fountain pen again.
Again, too scratchy, sorry.
No,
Maybe
you need to
I've-
get a good one.
Okay, the only fountain pen I've ever used is when I was told that my handwriting was good enough in year 6 to earn a fountain pen, and then I used a fountain pen.
The best day of your life.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I still remember it was like grey and stunning.
Yeah, you have to get a good one.
I don't
with,
think
like
it was a
soft
good
nib.
one.
No. But also they probably would smudge as well, so
I'm imagining you with like a
Whatever.
feather just like dipping it in ink.
I would be living my best life if I did
Dear
that.
JC's diary.
Best journals.
Best journals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to preface this, any form of journal or paper works. Get what you can afford. That's it. A
Yeah.
journal is a journal.
A
At the end of
journal's
the
a
day.
journal. You could even do it in your phone. You could even do it on a random A4 piece of paper.
Yeah, but if you want to treat yourself because it would make journaling feel a little bit more fun,
Mhm.
you are allowed to do that. And journals that we recommend are
Okay, my absolute favourite and the one that I bought you, I sounded like royalty then. The one that I bought you is, I'm going to butcher this. I don't know how to say the name. Luchtern.
can't help you with that one.
Leuchturn, I want to say, is the spelling. And I use the
screen.
dotted pages because the lines, it's not about it looking perfect, but it's easier for it to look nice in a bullet journal, which then I just find it generally easier.
And also, if you like leave a gap in between segments, it's not so harsh.
Yeah, that's actually probably why I like it, because you don't notice blank spaces, whereas
Yeah.
everything needs to be like in the lines in a line journal. So I do really recommend a bullet
Yeah,
journal.
line journal's a bit too serious,
Yeah, bit
Yeah.
too much.
a bit too intense.
But yeah, those ones, I don't know what the actual number is,
yeah,
because I've had quite a few different ones, but the paper is so soft.
I was gonna say that it's really nice to write on and just feels nice in your hand as well.
Yeah.
One thing I wouldn't recommend is a plain paper journal.
Yeah, I've never really understood why you would buy one of those.
Yeah, I feel like I would just make an absolute mess. And a plain piece of paper can be quite overwhelming because you feel like you have to fill it and you don't know where to start because it's just this big white sheet of paper in front of you. But if there's little dots on there, it's like, okay, the ice is already broken. I can now go in and make my mark. So, yeah, just even like a pretty cover in a pretty colour.
Where's good for those? Papier.
Papier, yeah.
I used papier journals for a long, long time, and I do still love them. I do think they are nice paper to write on as well. I just have been obsessed with the Luchtturn. But
That
if you
one.
want a really nice cover for your journal, go to papier. Also make great gifts.
I was going to say that. They can be personalised, so if you want to get on with someone else, 10 out of 10 gifts.
So I was just snatched what you were about to say.
It's fine, just read my mind. One more
Okay.
thing to add to equipment. Maybe like set the scene when you want to journal. Don't have to, but it might be quite nice, like maybe light a candle.
Oh, I thought you meant set the scene in the journal.
Oh no. Yeah, draw a little picture. No, around you whilst you journal. Maybe like a candle. Get in like a place where you feel safe and cozy and you're alone.
Make it a moment of self-care.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And to end this little mini-sode,
Minisode.
should we give the listeners some journal prompts?
Yes.
You are going to have to take it away because
Take it
you
away.
are the queen of
Okay.
prompts.
I'm going to start off with a positive one, which I think would be quite nice. And I do this one quite a lot, and that is, what is one thing that made you smile today? You are allowed to write down more than one thing, but sometimes it can be hard. And maybe it didn't make you smile, so you could say, what is one thing that made you happy today? Because sometimes that's easier than gratitude to start with. So yeah, that's my first prompt.
I like that it's just one thing and not forcing yourself to think of 100 things and then being like, I can't think of anything. My life sucks.
Yeah.
Should we give one thing that's made us smile today? Our morning walk this morning.
Yeah, those are the next words out of my mouth. That was so lovely. The sunrise was so stunning. Yeah,
That was just good vibes.
loved it.
My prompt is a way to get yourself out of your head and thoughts and into your body. I would like you to write down one thing for each of your senses. So write down one thing you can see, one thing you can smell, one thing you can hear, one thing you can touch, one thing you can taste.
And if you can't do one thing you can taste, do one thing you know to be true.
Ooh, clever.
If you're not, that was so when I used to do the 5 4 3 2 1 method.
Yeah.
I would have to do that because if I'd be out and about, I'd be like, I can't taste anything.
Can taste saliva.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I love that. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
it's just a good way to ground yourself and really get in the moment.
Yeah.
And just stop thinking and worrying.
My final prompt is, what is one thing that you would like to say to a past version of yourself?
See, that question kind of scares me. Not in like a scary way, but that could get really deep.
Nice.
That's what journaling's
Good.
for. Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
It can be a letter to your past self, or it can literally just be what is one piece of advice you would give to a past version of you, or one piece of, I don't know, something comforting that you needed to hear back then. I just think it's really nice to sometimes acknowledge how far you've come and also forgive your past self, etc., etc.,
Love that.
etc., etc.
I mean, interpret it however you want to interpret it. So the etc. is very valid because it can be different for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for our mini-sode.
Yeah, if you have any other journal prompts that you find really helpful for yourself, please comment them below because we're going to all use them. We're in a little journaling club now. The Comfort Zone Journal Club.
The Comfort Zone Journal Club. That should be a thing. No, we probably don't have time for it. We can make time for it. No, I'm not going to promise anything. Never mind. Scratch all of that.
Scribble it out.
Scribble it out in the journal.
And on that note, we will see you on Sunday.
Love you. Bye.
Mwah.